Hello, everyone. This is Backyard Musings, broadcasting live from the Double Wide in soggy Apple Valley, California. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott. Soggy and cool. It's a cool day today.
It's chipper,
Yeah.
and we've got a break from the rain, but it is soggy.
Yeah. And we got some snow on the mountains, so this breeze that we're having it's a little chilly. But that's okay. We're in the backyard.
It's February.
Yeah.
So I was looking at our previous videos, and it looks like Little White Lies took off. It's got the most views so far of all of our videos. I'm thinking people like that.
Yeah. Well, that was a good topic.
It was. Today we're going to be talking about bringing the team back together to support Biden. That's what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, the old Obama team. Yeah.
Obama is recruiting his admin veterans, including the Dirty 51, to relaunch an advocacy group. I say relaunch because they had it before. The National Security Action 2.0. I call it 2.0. To make the case for Biden's reelection.
Somebody's got to make the case, right? Biden's not out there doing anything. He's like disappeared. Poor guy, and he can't put a sentence together.
Face based on his foreign policy,
Yeah.
of all things.
Yeah, foreign policy. That is a laugh. Oh my gosh.
That's according to Axios, right? National Security Action 1.0 was launched by Jake Sullivan and Ben Rhodes in 2018. You know Jakey, he's the National Security Advisor.
he's still around, but old Ben, he's had his head in the hole somewhere. We haven't seen him for a
Maybe
while.
he's behind the scenes.
But he's back.
Okay, so we've got some quotes for you. Rhodes told Axios they will work to, quote, remind people that this is a choice, that Trump represents a different approach to foreign policy, I'll say.
And that's just isn't that what Biden just said the other day on one of his rare press conferences, that this is all Trump's fault?
They blame everybody.
Yeah.
Blame the corporations, blame the gas companies.
Yeah.
Okay, that a different approach to foreign policy that is very dangerous, but they don't say how or why. And rather than making the crises in the world better, he's likely to make them all worse. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to pass up a good crisis, right?
Yeah.
Never pass that up.
Yeah, Rahm Emanuel. Yeah.
He also added, quote, I really think that Trump winning is incredibly dangerous for democracy globally because it will validate that the trend in global politics is in this autocratic direction. Remember, an autocrat has absolute power. And so whether you're Xi Jinping or Vladimir Putin or Kim Jong-un or even a far-right party in Europe, you're going to feel the wind in your sails. Trump gets elected, end quote.
Yeah, that's, well, I don't know. I think just the opposite of that, actually. I think Trump's he has a way of kind of squashing some of these things, so.
Yeah, well,
But,
I mean, he'll piss off liberal governments like Canada, and, Germany was liberal, and now it's moving more towards the right because their policies have failed.
Yeah, they're moving in the right direction.
With all the people, well, this is another quote. With all the people that will be contributing to this Gaza situation, I wouldn't expect everybody to agree with 100% of the things that Joe Biden is doing. Like the Michigan people, they're really upset, the Muslims. But I do think that pretty much everybody thinks that a second Trump presidency is dangerous. Everybody thinks that.
Well, I don't.
I don't either. I don't buy it. High tide raises all the boats, even the Ben Rhodes of the world.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we unpack this and take a look at it?
Let's do it.
The Power Wolves, you like that?
Power Wolves, yeah.
That's Metallica. The Power Wolves. The Power Wolves, Democrats, are running on fear-mongering Donald Trump because they have no policy success stories. Am I right?
Yeah.
No policy success stories. They don't dare discuss their success of allowing a migrant invasion, right? That's a success for them. It's an overwhelming success. They can't even tout a win for climate change progress despite passing that Inflation Reduction Act, which was really
a joke.
The new Green Deal, like a Halloween costume on it. Autocrat for a 4-year term? Donald Trump, absolute power? I don't think so. He wants to get reelected, right? You're not going to do bonehead things to make absolute power. This little white lies. Autocrats have undisputed power, and usually for life, like Xi and Putin and Kim. More little white lies, right? Let's talk about Trump's foreign policy. Let's just talk about it. I went to I'm going to say a dozen web pages to do some research, and they all bash Trump. All of them bash Trump. Finally, I found a archived whitehouse.gov that Trump posted what he had done, right? And so I pulled out some of the things, not everything, right? So what did he do for NATO? What did he do to NATO? Held their feet to the fire, right?
Yeah. He wanted them to come up with their own pay.
Need
Pay
to
as you go, man.
Burp up that defense spending, because
Yeah.
that Article 5, if you get attacked, we all are attacked, and we come to your aid, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't one of the questions that he asked. Why do we even really need NATO?
That's one of the questions.
It's
a valid question.
It's a money pit. It's like the UN. It's just a big fat money pit.
Okay, so he secured $400 billion increase in defense spending from NATO allies all the way through 2024. He returned 56 hostages from more than 24 countries. He withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal, and some say that was bad to do that, right?
Well, look what's happening with Iran right now.
Oh, well, I know, and they're going to say it's Trump's fault for pulling out of that deal. They're
Right.
going to say that. They blame corporations for high prices and big oil for gas prices. They blame cars for getting carjacked. The car makers need to make it anti-carjack proof, right?
Well, if you remember, that's what Obama did too. He blamed Bush for everything. Remember? That was his whole big deal.
And by withdrawing, he imposed crippling sanctions on the Iranian regime, right? And he enforced those sanctions to bring Iran's oil exports to zero. Is that a blow to democracy?
No.
No. Do you remember the Iranians they took hostages? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
1979.
Yeah.
400 over 400 days in captivity.
Right. Jimmy Carter
Jimmy Carter
couldn't bring him home.
Blew up in his face.
took a president like Ronald Reagan to take care of that.
Yeah. But he's the first president to meet with the leader of North Korea and first sitting president to cross into the demilitarized zone in North Korea. You know what I'm saying? People are saying, oh, he's in bed with Kim Jong-un. That's diplomacy.
Right.
That's trying to bring your enemies to heel, looking them right in the face. This is what I expect. And did we have a lot of shellings across the border? Did we have a lot of missile tests?
No.
No.
He kind of squashed all that.
He also negotiated now this is near and dear to me because I'm a veteran. I'm retired from the Army. He also negotiated the return of remains from the Korean War. Bringing our troops home means something to me. It means a lot to me.
Right.
He relocated the embassy to Jerusalem. Obama wouldn't do that.
Well, no president was able to do that.
Right.
A lot of them promised it, but he got it done.
And Jerusalem's the historic capital of Israel.
Right.
It's all in the Bible.
Yep.
So it must be true, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What about the Abraham Accords?
Yeah, that was kind of put together with his
Smashing
son-in-law,
success.
right?
Yeah. Smash.
Jared Kushner.
United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Sudan
Yeah.
are in peace treaties with Israel.
That's probably the biggest conglomeration of those countries since back in back in the 70s probably.
70s, yeah, with Sadat.
Yeah.
And Menachem Begin.
Right.
Yeah. And so he had a bunch more things that he wrote down on the website about bringing Islamic terrorism to heel and that kind of stuff. I didn't list it, like killing Soleimani and
Yeah, I was going to say
Baghdadi.
that was one of the reasons why Iran kind of quieted their saber rattling because he offed a couple of their big guys and I mean it was like
it was quiet.
out of the sky, just secretive kind
very
of stuff.
secretive.
So,
And then what happens when Slow Mo Joe comes into action?
Yeah,
well, they start the attacks.
we're fired up again,
Yeah.
So I mean, I just heard coming over here on the radio that they offed an Iranian guy just today. But,
Yeah.
which is
So-
good. I'm all good.
Well,
I'm
Iranian
all
back
with
guy.
that.
Iranian back guy.
Right.
Okay. He's the first world leader to recognize Juan Guaido as the interim president of Venezuela and led a diplomatic coalition against Nicolas Maduro. He was the strong
Maduro
guy.
was a bad.
Yeah, he was
bad
the
dude.
number 2 that came into power as a bad guy.
Yeah.
So let's look at Biden's foreign policy accomplishments. You want to do that?
Well, that shouldn't take long.
Okay. Well, he removed American troops from Afghanistan.
He did
right?
do that.
Didn't he do
yeah,
that?
yeah, and he gave him a big prize over there. Left
Yeah.
a bunch of
Big
military
prize.
equipment.
Oh,
Those-
yeah.
just-
I didn't even put that in my notes.
That
but
was-
a lot of equipment.
yeah.
That precipitated the collapse of the Afghan army and national police. I mean, they just caved.
Well,
And
they walked away. Yeah, exactly.
remember Biden said he had that interview and he said, oh, I can't remember what he said. That resulted in 13 dead Americans and hundreds of injured from a blast at Kabul airport.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that about his. I can't. I remember watching that transfer of those.
Yeah, you remember
those
this on the
caskets. He was
transfer?
watching the clock. This watch. That was.
You remember that?
Flat out disgusting.
That was disgusting.
What a pig.
It was just disgusting. I mean, if you're not in the military, you probably don't understand it. But being in the military, it really pisses you off.
Well, and those 13 Americans did not have to die.
No, they didn't.
That could have been done in a very secure way, I believe.
And that withdrawal flooded the U.S. with thousands of Afghan nationals without any vetting whatsoever. They said they had vetting, but they weren't because some of those Afghan nationals came over and they raped people and
Sounds like people crossing the border.
Yeah. Remember the footage of the Afghans clinging to that Air Force transport?
Yes, I do.
Running with the plane,
Right.
and then what happens? They fall off to their death. So they boasted that they evacuated 90% of Americans that wanted to leave Afghanistan, right? That would be an A, right? You get a 90%, that's an A, right?
Well, if you're a teacher and you're given a grade,
Yeah.
in school, but
who cares about the other 10%, right?
10% of the people that wanted to get out, that's just not right.
Okay, here's his next foreign policy. He started a war on American energy, right? He stopped fracking, which was making us energy independent, right?
Right.
And they were pressing him when he was running. Are you against fracking? Oh, well, he was dodging that question.
Shut down the Keystone Pipeline.
Shut down the Keystone Pipeline, right? So that war on American energy led to financing Russia's war against Ukraine. Why? Because we started buying Russian oil. We started buying Venezuelan oil, Iranian oil, Saudi Arabian oil. When we were energy independent, it led to record high gas prices and inflation. When you take a war on energy, that everything is connected to energy. You've got trucking to get the food to where it needs to be. You've got farmers who need gas to farm. He allowed. Now remember, Donald Trump brought the Iran exports to zero for oil.
Yep.
He allowed
hurting
Iran
their economy.
Oh yeah. He allowed them to sell its oil internationally. It resulted in begging Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Russia to sell its oil to the U.S. Remember, he went to Saudi Arabia. He wanted them. I need you to sell because we've got a midterm coming up, so I need a win here. And they said no. They said no.
Yeah.
Laughed right in his face. Okay, the next policy point, foreign policy. Lack of progress between Israel-Palestine solution led to the attack on Israel on 10/7. Any shenanigan like that happen under Trump?
No.
No invasion, no brink of World War III.
Right. And that is still lingering. I mean, I think people thought that would be over in a month or two, but it's been what now, 4 months, and that is still going.
It's the highest death count since the Holocaust.
And everybody
there's some people don't believe the Holocaust. They're like, what does that mean to me? What does that matter?
Well, I think there's probably some people that don't believe that this attack happened either.
My wife's grandfather was the one of the soldiers that came up on these death camps, and he took photos. Eyewitness. Okay, soft on Hamas after they attacked Israel. Soft on Hezbollah after they attacked Israel. Did not retaliate against over 100 attacks on us, our forces over in the Middle East, since October 7th attack against Israel until January 2024. So it took them, 3-4 months to start the attacks?
Yeah.
Retaliation?
Yeah, the timing is pretty odd.
Yeah, so much for the over-the-horizon intelligence. How's that working? Okay, his next accomplishment, this is truly an accomplishment to Democrats, encouraging 10 million illegal aliens to flow across the border.
It's
a disaster.
It is a disaster. Just
no enforcement of existing laws. It's just workarounds. It's not an enforcement. Financial program. We reported on this yesterday.
Yeah, and it's overwhelming our border patrol and any other law enforcement agency that is dealing with people along the border. Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, California.
And it's taxing Chicago, New York City. They're the sanctuary. They claim to be sanctuary. They're proud of that, but it's wrecking their budgets. They don't want to take the immigrants, so they're yelling at Joe, Slow-Mo Joe. And we talked about how they reward immigrants with federal funds to come across. Okay, the catch and relocate policy, not catch and release, catch and relocate. Put them through the airports. Don't need an ID card, but we do, right? Stopping construction of the border wall, remember that? Which was already contracted out to do, and they had the materials. And under construction, selling those materials at auction, and then oops, he wants to build, he's buying new materials to build some more wall.
Yeah.
Just, it's
which is a great thing, but the timing of it is just very...
Fraud and waste.
It's just...
Do you remember when Bob Gates, he was Obama's DOD secretary, said that Biden has been wrong on every foreign policy decision in his career? Remember that?
Well,
has he proven it?
And what were one of the quotes that Obama said about Joe Biden?
Don't underestimate his ability to F things up.
Yep. Just
not up in here.
That's a great thing to say from your prior
former
boss.
president. Yeah,
and president of the United States. But
and so now he's bringing these veterans back to help Biden get reelected on this foreign
well,
policy.
it's the same thing that Obama did. I mean, he had a team of people that he used that were from the Clinton administration, and a lot of them, and
recycling.
Plus his own guys. Yeah, so it's you get what you pay for.
That's exactly. That's what Kamala said. They voted for. They wanted this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay, folks, that's all the time we have today. If you liked what you saw, click subscribe. We need subscribers. Okay, we've been on 23 for the past, 10 days, 2 weeks. Give us some subscribers. If you like it, hit subscribe. Tell your family. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Yes, we'll bring them over.
Comments, good or bad.
Yeah, we'll talk about them.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, and we'll see you on the next one.
Have a great day. Thank you.